Yes, hello everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. I am very glad to be here with you with Jakub Kościelniak.
Hi.
Yes, we are going to have some very nice time with shimonberlinshow, and yes, today it will be about wine and music, also improvisation. And I'm very thankful, Jakub, that you are here.
Thank you.
That we can make some music, that we can taste a very good Polish wine.
Yeah.
And I can only say maybe some words about you. Kuba, you are sommelier. You are sommelier of the year 2020 in Germany, and you are working also in Sky Kitchen, Michelin star restaurant in Berlin. So maybe you can talk us a little bit more about your job.
Yeah, so my job is to take care about wines in very nice restaurant, Sky Kitchen, in the eastern part of Berlin. And me being a Polish person, so being born and raised in Poland, I created this wine list, which is very much Central and Eastern European wine list, with exclusion of all like very classic countries. We know the wines from Germany, from Austria, and then from like Central and Eastern part of Europe. So we're gonna try some Polish wines, which actually I did not brought tonight. The wines are from Shimon. Shimon was in his hometown, and he brought some wines.
Yeah.
For us to try. So we figure out that if we have some wines, we both like to drink the wine, and one of us do it as a job, one of us do it as a connoisseur, like just enjoy the drinking wine. I also like to play music, and Shimon being a professional musician, it makes sense to combine these two areas and do some wine tasting and some maybe improvisation based on impressions from the wines tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, the idea was that we taste this wine, and Kuba, you are professional, and you can set something to each wine. And our idea was also to make like a concert with music and with wine, to improvise to wine, to make how to say comment to a wine.
Exactly.
Or I think wines are very big inspiration for taste, but. Yes, so maybe we'll try the first one. I have to say I was in Stettin because this wine is from or near to Stettin. This wine is called, the firma is called Koider.
Yes, the winery Koider.
So it's ecological wines, and yes, the first one is
Sauvignon Gris. This is actually one of the multiple German hybrid grape varieties. So the grape varieties which will genetically crossed to plant them maybe in more like cold areas of Germany, and because of it a lot of Polish winemakers actually adapted this grape variety in Poland. So a lot of German hybrid grape varieties are actually the grapes we use, or like Polish winemakers use in Poland, because they're just way more consistent looking at our climate and looking how the climate in Polish works. So yeah, Sauvignon Gris, the grape variety, which I actually tried not from Poland, to be fair, so I tried just the German variations. So I'm actually quite excited to try the Polish one.
Okay, so maybe we can show it to camera, because I don't know if you... Yeah, is it this one? Koider.
Yeah, the winery Koider, the Sauvignon Gris.
Okay, and yeah, so we try. And I will check or our stream is in good condition. Yes, I think it's everything going well. I have to say...
There we go, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. First I want to say, because the sound may be a little bit not so loud, because we have many microphones here, and yeah, so it's not like in the studio, but I hope you can understand us. So, we will try.
So like first thing which comes to mind, like what you feel, it's like this quite present acidity, and I would call the climate in Polish call the climate. It's not a surprise that the wines actually has some decent acidity there, because the colder the climate, the more acidic wines gonna be produced. So this acidity is actually what you would expect. But the nose is actually quite surprising for me. It has
what is surprising?
Nose, the aroma of the nose. I would expect like it smells way more ripen and way more like warmer climate, as a warmer climate wine that I would expect it to be. So it has this ripened fruit character which I didn't expect it to be like occurring here.
Okay. Your description is very, how to say, very technical but detailed. It's a good one, but for me it's difficult to describe it with technical because I'm not.
Of course.
But
this is like why.
But for me, this is the beginning is like very nice, like the smelling this. It's very deep. At the beginning, it's very deep.
It has this like very. It's quite funny because it has this present acidity. It's very refreshing, but you have this like little hint of sweetness. It's dry wine, but you get this like a little like candy sweetness there, which is very delicate. And then comes this big acidity, or like not big acidity, but like present acidity.
Okay.
It just flashes your mouth and gets like, it gets very very refreshing. But it's also not quite light. I think so. It has some body to it. Like normally the wines with huge acidity, very often they are like the Rieslings or Sauvignon Blancs. They're going to be like light. This one somehow has more body to it. It's a bit like buttery, a bit like oily. So it has this. Yeah, it's very very balanced, and like I enjoy. It's something different that I expected. So I'm actually quite intrigued.
Nice. So, do we want to start to interpret it with music?
Yeah, I'm quite ready.
Yeah, you said this word sweetness, a little bit sweetness.
Yeah.
It
but
is
just a
little bit. Yeah. So like a deepest one, a deeper one with a long beginning, and a little bit sweetness.
Very refreshing with a bit sweetness.
Okay, so let's try.
Sounds like inspiration.
Yeah. A little bit. I will check this one more time. Okay. So now I go to the piano. I will have to change also
I'm gonna have some more
music. Okay, now we are back.
Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah, a little sweetness. In its deepest. Yeah, I think this kind of register is deep, no? For
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
the beginning of the wine.
Yeah, like long deep
Yes, yeah.
long deep chords. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So maybe we'll switch to our another microphone, and I'm very interested about, because you tell me a lot about musicians and wine. People are going to your restaurant are also musicians.
Yeah, this is actually a thing which I enjoy a lot. I need to say that one of my favorites guests are musicians, because musicians had this quite unique ability to like understand and appreciate this idea of things being just in the one moment. So when you come to the Michelin star restaurant and you enjoy your meal, you cannot do it at your home. It's just like it's just this one evening and this one, let's say, performance from the kitchen and from the service team. And I think musicians has exactly the same attitude. So they understand that the concert will be just happens once, and it's even if you record it, even if you play it as a DVD, it's never gonna be like the same experience, because it's like all the magic happens just in this particular moment. And I think like this is the thing which I like so a lot in musicians I had privilege to serve, that they get it, they have this like understanding of it happening, and this is why they appreciate and understand both wine and food on like different level, or not different level, but a bit. Sometimes I even thought that the musicians I was serving, they're actually like sommeliers or chefs, because they have just this understanding of food and wine, but maybe not because they're professionals, but they just understand this thing restricted in time. And this is quite fascinating for me to always like have talks and serve musicians and artists.
But it's something like, because of musicians are sensitive people, like they are very sensitive for some
probably
how to say sin.
Like for the sensation. So of course you also like, this is like, if you are trained musician, you are all day, like all your life you were trained to concentrate on the senses. So probably when you take your ears and then you just move it through like mouth and nose, it's not that different. Like it is different, but it's maybe easier to understand it. So probably this being a very sensible musicians being a very sensible people. It's probably.
But if you compare also this kind of evening in a restaurant with very good wine, very good meals. It's like a concert. Only this one time.
Performance.
It's like performance, and you if you are also in a good concert, classical or another concert, you are also like in the very special event where you want to expect something special, and this is only this one moment. So next time it's another weather, it's another people, another public,
and you cannot do it somewhere else at your home. So it's just
so it's everything combined together.
So this is why it's also like, I think, so amazing for like to combine these two worlds, and this is what we are doing here. Because also like this is like this funny anecdote which a lot of people, this is this mistake of buying the wine and the country or like place you are and bring it home. So people would go to Tuscany and eat this fresh tomatoes and enjoy sun and the mountains, and they sit there, they drink Chianti, and they just think, oh man, it's just the best bottle of wine I had. They buy 12 bottles, put it in the car, come back to the Berlin, it's 5 degrees, raining, grey everywhere, and they take this bottle of wine, drink it, and it doesn't taste the same like in the Tuscany when you have like all this ambience and all this atmosphere. So it's also like with wine, it's also very important, the context and the place where you put it. So.
One time I had some experience like this. I was in Japan, and there sushi, and then after eating sushi there, and after 1 week I was back in Berlin. I wanted also to have this experience. It was totally different. It's something.
So this is the magic of like going to like this sort of restaurant, going to the concert, and also like for me very intriguing place to combine these two things. So like try to taste the wine and get these impressions, because wines, despite me probably due to my job, I always describe it too technical, and you are not biased as I am, so you can like more concentrate on impressions and emotions and like views you have and imagination. I'm very often like always, despite I would like still to have this like pure description, this is just, you just get technical with time, but still like this combining music and wine, I think it's like amazing like place to see the two worlds actually like amazing together.
And yeah, this is your instrument today.
Yeah.
You are also like yeah, fascinated in percussion.
Yes. Yeah. Before I actually.
When did it start?
I was playing primarily guitar when
Mhm.
when I was in as a scout. I was probably I was like 12. Yeah, 12 years old, and I started to play in scouting and then in church band.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing primarily guitar, and then my father actually always tried to teach me like a lot of good music. He
Mhm.
listened to a lot of jazz and like just high quality music. So I was like raised with my dad, Miles Davis, Coltrane, and all these like big names. And when I was like around 15, I guess I don't remember the year, but this was this first CD of Leszek Możder with Zohar Fresco and
Mhm.
Lars Danielsson, the time, and my father was just listening to it constantly, and I just fell in love with it. And I was actually lucky to see Zohar Fresco, Możder, and Danielsson in Gdańsk. And when I saw it, I was like, I need to do it. I need to play percussion. I just fell in love with it, and I played in church bands in Poland, percussion. Also, sometimes we play also together in our church in Berlin. So I also did it. And when the lockdown started, I was having so much time that I actually tried to sell everything what I had, which I didn't use, and invest in building a little bit of my own world of percussion.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For me, it's very interesting. This kind of what is it? It's like
This is nuts. This is
nuts.
the shelves of nuts. Yeah.
Wow. And also castagna.
There's also nuts actually.
Nuts. Okay.
There are also nuts. Just shells of the nuts.
A lot of sound.
Which you can use just to like maybe like create this nature sounds. So like maybe like rain, wind, waterfall, and so on. Yeah.
So, do we want to taste?
Maybe let's try second one.
Next
We need to drink the first one. So cheers. Na
Cheers.
zdrowie.
Na zdrowie. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring the second one.
Okay. So I will check one thing here. If you have some comments or some questions or there's something to say, you can make it in the comments. No comments now. Okay. So now
Second wine.
second wine.
This is actually also a surprise for me. Maybe it's also because I don't live in Poland, so I actually don't get to try as much Polish wine as I would like. But this is also quite exciting because this is Johaniter, the grape variety, which was also like, I would say, if I recall correctly, the first two grape varieties in Poland, which started to be like very famous, was Solaris and Johaniter. And Johaniter was also this grape variety, which had this like huge, like strong minerality, high acidity, and the ones I tried, not all of them, but most of them were like very, very, even let's call it on like aggressive side. So they were having like this like attack, and they were having like straight up forward acidity, and they were quite mineral, very often just made in steel tank, so they were not made in barrels, just to keep this like pure character. But this particular one, it's a Johaniter made in barrique. Barrique is a small barrel, mostly from the oak wood, which is 225 liters, and the smaller the barrel, the more barrel aromas you will feel in the wine. So the big barrels leave not that much aromas, but the smaller the barrel is, the more this wooden aromas is going to go to the wine. So it's for me also like quite unexpected, and like we're going to see how it happened, but it was unexpected that somebody thought, like the winery Koider thought they're going to actually put the Johaniter into the barrique barrels, because the sort of wines I tried, they were more always on this like straight up straightforward side. So it's going to let's see what happens.
It's a bit sweet at the beginning.
Yeah, and this is I would like my idea would be this exactly what comes from barrique. So when you have this oak aged white wines, you're gonna get this a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of like maybe maple syrup, caramel notes, which just come from wood, which are not the aromas I tried in Johanniter before. Way less acidity. There is some acidity still, but it's way like mild. It's just delicate. It's not like the first one was like a little bit, you would say, in your face. And this one is like a little bit back, like.
Exactly, it's totally. I can say first, my first is totally different. And totally like get back. Two steps back. Like, no, I'm not here.
A little bit defensive. I'm not screaming that I'm here. I'm just like whispering. Yeah.
But the beginning was very sweet, so I thought it would be like, this is totally, how to say, different experience, and also, like surprise for me.
Yeah, for sure. Both wines are actually quite different than I expected them to be fair. It's a little like a little bit of honey. If you feel it. I feel like a little bit of this honey. Which is like honey, which I very often connect to sweet wine. So it's like the nose tells you, hi, I'm going to be a sweet wine, but you try it and it's a dry, very balanced, very nice wine.
So this is the Johanniter, yes?
Johanniter, yes.
Johanniter. Yeah, it's like this one. Okay. Von Keuder. Yeah, I think the music will be much different here. Do you want to try?
Yeah.
Okay, so
maybe
enjoy.
Not that straightforward.
Yes. Maybe you can start?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
It was so nice that I just stopped and I wanted to listen. It was just, I just needed this moment. It was so nice.
Thank you. It was just really nice with this kind of, how we describe this wine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. So I'm not sure it's about wine, but more wine is better music.
Yeah, I feel way better than 3 hours ago. So. The power of fermentation.
Power of fermentation. So cheers. Yeah. So if you are near to Stettin, I can say that there is also some wine, very good wine, and because that's for me it was like in Poland it's not possible to get good wine.
Yeah.
It is this opinion, Italy, France, and so on.
Of course.
But yes, it is also like for me nice feeling to have something in your region where you come from.
Yes. This is we are the country which most people like connect with vodka and beer, which despite being very tasty beverages, they are not like they are high quality, but you always think of them like way different than about wine. Wine always like sounds like way more like sophisticated drink. So it's very cool to have the wines made in Poland. It's a huge surprise probably for like most people. Like every day, this is like literally every day. Like most of the guests when I bring the Polish wines to the table, it's like Polish wines. I never thought that Poland made wines and there's wine made in Poland. So it's a big surprise for everybody. I always say to the people that they shouldn't be like feeling bad because half of my family had no idea that we do wine in Poland. So so this is very new chapter. Most of the wines, like quality wines, started 12, maybe 13 years ago, maybe 15, but like the first moment when people started to plant the grapes was around 2008, 2009. Then the first good vintages came around 5 years after. So 2014 was like the first probably moment where the people actually start to see the wines, Polish wines in the restaurants. And right now when you go to Poland and you go to restaurants, it's very hard to not see the Polish wine, the wines. So everybody in Poland want to have the Polish wines and to promote the local products, which is
it's very nice. It's very nice. It's also very tasteful for me. It's I am like normal guy. I don't drinking wines a lot, but yes, I'm very happy if I'm there that I'm going to restaurant and taking good wine from this region. Yeah, and you sent me also a very nice story about the wines, a little bit like music. Can be a little bit sharper, a little bit softer. On which depends. What is inside of the wine which says us this is like sharp, this is like soft, or describing like a little bit more honey, a little bit more 2 steps away, like.
You mean what makes it?
What makes it? Or
so like most of the times it's 2 things. It's the terroir. So terroir would be everything which connects with the wine garden. So the climate you have, the weather, the soil, and every like winemaker choices in their wine garden. So how much am I actually letting nature do their job, and how much I'm trying to make nature a bit better. And the second part would be the wine cellar. So when you already harvest the grapes, you're going to press them, you're going to start to ferment them. There is a lot of choices that winemakers make to create the wines which will be or how will affect the end product. So like the winemaker also, like for example, when you look at this grape variety, you could make this wine not that's 2 steps forward away. This is like very often the liters I drank wasn't like this. So this is like the winemaker. I don't know what's the idea. To be fair, I never we didn't spoke with the winery recording, but there was some idea to put your liter into the small barrel and to make it a bit more rounder and make it somehow create it and make all the steps from the wine garden to wine cellar to create this wine, not as the most liter are, so like screaming, but this one like more whispering and more like 2 steps back. So yeah, this is mostly like this is what happens in the wine garden and the wine cellar. But it's also like worth mentioning when you drink some eco wines or like wines which start to be ecological, and then maybe you can also drink some bio wines, biodynamic wines, and some organic wines, natural wines. That this is like huge discussion right now in the wine world, because whenever you make the wine as a low intervention as you can, so you start as a winemaker, you say, I'm gonna let the nature do their job, and I'm not gonna influence that much the nature. You will create the wine which can be a little bit like, in Germany would say, has Ecken und Kanten, so has a little bit like, it's not like round and very pleasant, it has some things which are standing out and which are maybe a bit disturbing, because nature doesn't create the products which are surround. And very often I like to use this analogy to my guests with like atonal music, because when you listen to atonal music, it's also not that pleasant. Like whenever you play atonal music, it just everything fits in and it's like very pleasant. But atonal music very often will be like, you will feel that something stands out from everything.
But it's very interesting what I are saying now. I was thinking about improvisation. Like nature did it like it did, and it can sharpen Kanten und Ecken. Like it can be like this, it can be like this. It depends on the year, on the weather. And I think what we are doing now, also did now, we were improvising, and it was also like, okay, how does it start? How does it end? What is in the middle? And every time is different, and it depends on many factors. But so it's like what do you describe with the wine?
Yeah, there is a lot of connection actually. Like
it's not have to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is probably the biggest. I'm not gonna say problem, because I totally understand why people love wines which are not natural and this perfect made wines. But if we think about like going back to roots, nature never makes things perfect. Like nothing is like always perfect, symmetric. Nothing is nothing is 7 out of 10 every time. It's or like 5 out of 10. Like I mean, nothing is like exactly in this perfect spot. Everything. Some things stands out, some not. And I think to appreciate the eco wines, I need to also say that like Winery Recorder makes very harmonic wines. So like when you drink the natural wines, like sometimes like natural wines from, I would say even the winemakers will just do it way crazier. Then you're gonna have just like screaming wines from every directions. And a lot of people doesn't get the idea that actually nature creates things like this, and this is just a little bit ideological and philosophical question. Should we make things better than nature made them, or should we leave it like the nature made them? And this is like a big discussion, and because from one side we're gonna drink wines with just taste and just are very pleasant and are hedonistic in some ways. So you want to drink something which is tasty, and you don't care about is it nature, is it guy, is it barrel, is it just give me something which is tasty. But from other hand, maybe you approach the wine as a like piece of art or something very special in the bottle, and you don't want it to be better than the nature made it. You want to drink it like very in this pure form, and like everything has its own place. I would say every wine has its place, and it's just like the question which occasion does it fit. There are places when you want to drink perfectly balanced wines, and there are places when you want to get intrigued and like you get these creamy wines which stands out.
Well, the whole time I'm thinking also about what you are saying in wine, but also in music. And if your words are in the, I would say, in the music area, it's very similar. Like if I want to make music too perfect, it kills this what in music most beautiful is. And also in improvisation, too perfect or to try more to be more better and better, it is good. It is very good. So, but for me also, it starts. Or I know some recording, or I know some situations where this perfection killed everything around it. And so this is really nice also to hear it from musicians.
Yeah.
Sometimes the humanity inside of their music.
Yeah, yeah,
And
for
this
sure.
Naturality also.
Yeah.
No? Not
And you need to be very brave to do it, because in the 21st century, we love to have things perfect. So it's very, I think it's very brave, and it's very, for me, it's very stressful to do the music here, because I know that it's never going to be very near as perfect. It's just going to be a lot of mistakes, but it's just like, it's also cool just to know that you are allowed to do mistakes, and
so
you need to be brave just to just take the risk.
And I'm very happy that you wanted to play this evening with me, and it was the idea also that we make things not in the idea, okay, to have to be perfect, you have to do everything, plant everything, but also to comment live like we want, to be near to our feelings, to our how to say sins, and our sin, our sins, senses, and to try to make it beautiful, a little bit music, a little bit wine.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. So do you want to?
Na zdrowie.
Cheers. And
should I bring the third one?
I will also check some things in the stream. Okay. Okay. So now I am feeling very well now.
Stress is gone.
Oh yeah, stress is gone, but it's not all the stress is gone, but the wine is so nice.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
And this is the
We're gonna have some sweet wine actually.
Sweet wine? Okay.
Which I'm actually curious, because we had this idea what maybe we're gonna play now, but I'm very curious where the wine is gonna take us, because I imagine that it may be very different than what we thought it's gonna happen.
Okay.
I'm just gonna.
This is Solaris, you know, huh?
And this is Solaris, so the second I would say, well, actually the first, I would dare to say it's the first and the most recognizable Polish grape, not Polish, but the grape variety made in Poland. This one is sweet, which it's also gonna be really cool.
Oh yeah. I feel
so this one is gonna be screaming. This one, it would be weird if it's not. It would be like 2 steps down.
So be careful about the music after.
Yeah. we're gonna play loud. Probably.
Yeah. Wow, it's very sweety.
Yeah. So when you get the sweet ones, there's a lot of like these things you will have. So all the sweet, also like honey, but like all the fruitiness, and like this. It just paints this picture of like.
Oh, it's very sweet. Very nice.
Yes, but still has some acidity, which is so cool. This is the like, I think the most important thing is in the sweet wines, not the most important things, but things which puts off a lot of people in the sweet wines, that sometimes you have the sweet wines with no acidity, and you feel like eating krówka in Poland.
Okay.
So your mouth is just so full of sweet, and just so like it just sticks
like caramel.
Yeah, so just like almost like eating pure caramel. And when you get the sweet wines with some acidity, it's gonna refresh your mouth. It's actually not that overwhelming. So I think it's actually very, very nicely made wine. I'm quite impressed.
And it's also still very fruity, as well, like on the side. And why? Because I one time I drank a Solaris wine. It was totally different. So
we drink the dry wine, I think.
It was dry wine.
Yeah. We had a dry wine. So of course it's gonna be like way different, but still from the aromas perspective, you just whenever you make a sweet wine, the grape will be way more old. So like you're gonna harvest it way later. So it's gonna be like when you look at the grape for the dry wine, it's gonna be like big, juicy grape, and the later you gonna harvest it, the more it's gonna be like a raisin. So a lot of this like things are already happening here. So all these aromas which you're gonna have in the wines made from the raisins will be way different than the couple of months ago the grape you picked for the sweet wine. So yeah, it can be same grape variety and still gonna be like extremely different wine.
Yeah, it is much different. Like carnival a little bit for me. Like the feeling for wow, or a summer.
Yeah.
Summer. have some idea?
I don't. I actually look at this and like I'm in this weird state of like being very happy and like pleased, and I don't know how to express it. I'm going to figure it out. Maybe you have some idea.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna join you. I'm gonna try.
I'll try. For me, like a musician, or if I would start now improvisation about this wine, I would try to make a very 2 chords at the beginning. They are very sweet and very open, like very sweet and open, and I think F major. I would take F major. This is pastoral. Very often this key was used in music, in classical music, to describe something pastoral, like idyllic, like village and flowers and so on.
Okay.
So I think it will be clear, but maybe with very fresh rhythm, like not but at the beginning a little bit dancing, upbeat, and then maybe with some, how to say, some oriental direction.
It has this like a bit oriental notes, right? It has this like.
You said also this is rosin key?
Raisin, yeah.
Raisin, yeah. This is like also okay. Wow. now I feel really very calm. So let's start, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's try something. Okay. So like this nice chords, but you can also make some beat if you want to start, yeah? Or should I start?
You can start. I'm gonna try to join you.
Okay.
I hope I'm not gonna disturb it.
You have to drunk, but I hope no.
Sleepy.
Sleepy, right? Okay, maybe some.
It's a lot of like. I just got into like very nice, happy place. But yeah, sleepy. Like.
Yeah, so now
Not
we are.
sleepy. Sleepy is a bad word, but like. I'm actually in front of camera and I thought I'm gonna freak out, but I'm actually like very calm right now. So
Yes, I'm very calm too. Do you want to drink something more?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Should I serve you some more?
A little bit for.
You look like
of
you
this.
would like some more Solaris.
Yeah, Kuba. It is very, very, very nice.
Thank you for invitation.
Yeah, thank you that you were able to came here and we could do this live stream. It was for me pleasure to hear from the specialist.
To play with such a pro, it's like I was.
But the most beautiful thing is, I think you are professionals, but you are also like very open to the normality and to explain also that wines are like human beings.
Yeah.
Like something natural, coming from nature.
Absolutely.
And the similarities to with the music, to see the similarities.
It's quite a lot of them actually. It's quite. I think there's also why a lot of musicians actually sommeliers. A lot of guys who was having like musical career. A lot of like rock and indie musicians, they actually choose a sommelier path when their band like stop playing or when they want to just settle down. So I think like there's a lot of connections, between like doing music, like playing music and wine. So,
So thank you very much. Thank you very much that you were here, that you are watching this show, and yes, cheers for you and na zdrowie. And see you next time by the next Shimon Berlin show, and have a nice evening.
Yeah.
Bye
Stay
bye.
healthy. Bye bye.